So good morning, and thanks a million for joining me on the yoga mat this morning. This week's focus is on mobility. So we're going to be looking at working into the muscles, engaging and releasing them around the joint. So as opposed to just stretching into the muscles, there's going to be a little bit of strength and a little bit of movement, encouraging basically our optimum range of motion within our movement patterns. So that doesn't mean hypermobility. In some cases in a yoga class where you see poses like people going into extreme splits or having their leg over the shoulder. So we're not talking about that. That's more flexibility. We're talking about the ability of the muscle to spring back from that. And that's where we get into mobility and the really strong stuff that's going to help us with our day-to-day movements. So we're going to start in a nice, easy cross-legged seat. Resting the palms on the knees. We roll the shoulders back. We'll actually make a few little circles here, just getting into the shoulder joints. So we're going to inhale, shoulders to ears, and as we exhale, draw the shoulder blades together down the spine. And I want you to imagine you're always trying to catch something between the shoulder blades. So you're really exaggerating that movement, trying to engage with the shoulder muscles. Lengthening the spine. Still, as we work through that movement, we're going to reverse the circles. Relax the breath. So just a nice soft breath in and out through the nose. And just noticing left to right, if one shoulder's dropping a little bit sooner, if we don't have maybe as much range. It's a really nice way of tuning into where the body's at, where any little imbalances might lie. And then we're going to rest back in center. We're going to inhale, press the chest all the way over to the right, draw it through center, all the way over to the left. And as we exhale, tuck the chin in, we're going to round through the upper back. And we're going to continue to draw those lovely big circles. Take a nice bend to the elbows here. So allow the elbow joints get involved. Maybe allow the shoulder joints get involved. Maybe roll through the neck. So again, just allow yourself flow freely with those circles. Trying to get rid of any stiffness, any rigidity within the body. And particularly first thing in the morning. So we're just wakening up the joints, wakening up the muscles. Relax the breath. Just go with the flow here. And then eventually we move back at center. We're just going to reverse the crisscross of the legs to balance out the hips. And then we'll inhale, press the chest to the left, through center, to the right. And as we exhale, tuck the chin in as we round through that upper back and continue with your own breath. Lengthening from the lower spine, drawing the belly in, create as much space for that fold to happen. And we can press the heels of the hands into the legs to draw ourselves a little bit further forward and just notice how the opposite hip feels. Again, not getting too caught up with it. Sometimes it's just how we slept the night before, how we sat that day. So just tuning in, listening to what's going on within the body. Not holding on. And eventually we'll meet back at center. Opening the palms to the ceiling. We're going to grow the spine a little bit taller. Relax the shoulders back. And then we'll inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers. Press palms to the ceiling as we exhale. Press the palms forward. Really stretch between the shoulder blades. We'll do that twice more. So a nice big stretch as we inhale, look up. And as we exhale, press forward and release. Last one. Lovely. Same as we did on Tuesday, we're going to lift that right foot up. We're going to place it into the left hand and draw the toe toward the knee, placing the knee into the right hand, sitting as tall as we can. We might bring the shin a little bit higher once we're not collapsing. And then we're just going to gently rock into that right hip. Really slowly. If that left foot is in the way, feel free to bring it forward a little bit. And we're just looking for a nice natural range here. So we're not forcing the movement, but do try to see how far back you can draw that right knee and how far you can draw that right leg across the body. So we're just warming up into that space. Soften the breath. Maintaining that lovely connection to the core. We're going to meet back at center. Hugging chest to shin, shin to chest. If you want to go deeper, don't force it. We're going to place the foot into the left elbow crease and the knee into the right, but only if it comes easy. We can either interlock fingers or catch hold of the shin. And again, still hugging that shin in. Should be no pressure on the knee, so keep drawing that toe toward the knee. And we're just going to rock a few little circles into that right sit bone. And again, only if it feels good. So we're working into the glute here. We're also getting a little bit into the hamstring and around the insertion point. So there should be no pain, tingling, pinching. If there is, just come to stillness. And those circles can be as small or as large as feels good for you. So feel free to experiment with those circles. And we're going to reverse those circles opposite direction. Again, just massaging right into that hip joint. Relax the breath, softening, softening. And then meet back at center. From here, we're going to place that right foot out in front. We're going to place the left foot out to beat it. We're going to bring the hands behind us, fingertips point back. We're pressing into the ground, really opening into the heart. Make sure those feet are nice and wide, wider than the width of the body. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, drop both knees over to the right as we look over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center, exhale, knees drop to the left as we look to the right. And continue with your own breath. Try to press those knees down to the ground or as close to the ground as we can. And just make sure the feet are wide enough apart that the opposite knee can fall behind the opposite foot. As we look over the opposite shoulder, we're getting a little spinal mobilization. And if you want to get a little bit more core engagement, next time we come to center, we can bring the hands to heart. So we're taking the support of the arms out of the movement. And again, option only. Pressing those heels into the ground. Eventually, we're going to meet back at center. And then we're going to drop those knees all the way over to the right. We're going to turn the body to the right. So just shift your way back onto the mat if we've come forward. We're going to create some lovely 90-degree angles with the legs. We're going to place the hands either side of that right leg. Press the hands into the ground so we can center ourselves over that right hip and we're not collapsing out to the right. We can stay here, just working into that left hip, or if you want to bring a little twist, we're going to place the left hand just above the right knee and gently swing that right arm around the lower back, placing it behind us. And then we're going to look over the right shoulder. So we're getting a lovely release from the right shoulder diagonally across the body into the left hip and all the way down to the left knee. We can press that left hand into the leg to draw ourselves a little bit deeper. And if we feel we need a little bit more space in the hip, we can always pull that left foot back a little bit further. As we inhale, we're lengthening tall. And as we exhale, we're twisting and releasing. Drawing the belly in, really filling that belly with the breath. One more breath on this side. And then slowly inhale back to center. We're going to bring those knees back out front, and as we exhale, we'll drop the knees over to the left, turning the body to face the left side of the room. 90-degree angles at all the joints. We place the hands either side of that left leg. We're going to press into the ground so we can center our gravity over that left hip and we're not collapsing out to the left. Again, we can stay here. That might be enough. If we want to work our twist, right hand just above the left knee, and then we're going to gently swoop that left arm around the lower back, placing it on the ground behind us and looking over that left shoulder. We're going to press the right hand into the leg to draw ourselves a little bit deeper. And again, if you want deeper again, you can always shift that right knee back. So again, we're feeling that length from the left shoulder all the way through to the right hip and down to the right knee. Nice full belly breaths, but keep drawing the belly in so we're not compressing too much into that lower back. Lengthening on the inhale. Twisting on the exhale. One more breath on this side. And then slowly inhale back to center. Bringing those legs back out in front, and then we'll come back into our easy crisscross. Lovely. We're going to work into mobilizing that left hip. So we're going to pick the foot up, place it into the right hand, draw the toe toward the knee, place the knee into the left. Sitting nice and tall, maybe bring the shin a little bit higher. We're going to rock into that left hip really slowly. And again, you can move that right foot if you need. And just notice how that feels comparing to the other side. Is it a little bit easier? Is it a little bit stiffer? Nice deep into that left knee. So we're getting a wee bit into the hamstring muscle here as well. Slow it right down. And again, we're aiming for range here. So just see how far back, how far forward we can go without forcing it. Just coming to our comfort zone, not beyond. Just warming up. We have plenty of time to go deeper. And then eventually we meet back at center. We're going to hug chest to shin, shin to chest. If you want to go deeper, foot into the right elbow crease, knee into the left. And again, either interlock fingers or catch hold of the shin, making sure we're maintaining that length in the spine. And again, we can stay here. If you wish, you can draw a few little circles into that left hip. Either direction. Just massaging into that left glute. Hamstring insertion. Little circles, maybe they become a little bit bigger. And again, only if it feels good. Otherwise, stillness, we're still working a lovely release into that hip. And then we can reverse those circles, opposite direction. Feel free to close the eyes down if it feels better. Relax the breath, slowly, softly. And then eventually we meet back at center. Lovely. We're going to bring the left foot out in front. We'll bring that right foot out to meet it. And then from here, we're going to come to lie back onto the ground. Just make sure you have your strap and your block within reach. So lying back onto the mat, knees are bent, feet are flat to start with. We're going to hug the right knee in, give it a nice little squeeze. Straighten out that left leg and really press the back of the leg into the mat. We're going to reach for our strap. And we're going to wrap it around the ball of the right foot. Just make sure you have plenty of space out to your right here. We're going to inhale, press sole of the foot toward the so you can draw the toes toward the face. And just notice where we're feeling that in the hamstring. So we just want it into the center of the belly of the muscle. Otherwise, soften the knee or drop the right heel just a little bit. We're going to get the right hand to catch hold of the strap. Place the left hand on the hip. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, open the hip nice and wide. We're going to bend the right elbow, place it to the ground to hold that foot in space. Looking over the left shoulder, left side of the body is literally glued to the ground. Notice if the bum cheek is coming off the ground, we're just going to press it right back down. As we inhale, press away through the right heel. And as we exhale, open into that hip space. Breathing into the space. Feel that nice little stretch across the front of the pelvis into the inner right leg, all the way down through to the heel. So here we're working a little bit more flexibility. If we want to challenge and see where our mobility is at, we're going to keep the pose, but we're going to loosen the grip on the strap and see if those muscles can hold the leg in space. So just for a couple of moments, a couple of breaths, loosen that grip. And then we can get our grip again. We're going to inhale the leg up toward the ceiling. This time we're going to catch hold of either end of the strap with both hands. And we're going to draw a few little circles to the right to start with. And we can widen that grip, making the circles a little bit larger. And again, slow the movement right down. We can widen the grip again, maybe bring the elbows to the ground so we've got a little bit more support for the movement. And again, we're looking for nice round circles, really smooth, trying to get rid of any resistance to the movement. And you can make those circles as large and as full as you can. And again, this movement is from the hip, actively pressing away through the heel all the time. The closer the heel comes to the ground, you might find that lower back wants to come off the mat, and you're going to press it right back down. So keeping that lower back engaged as we work into that hip space. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction, maybe starting small. Each circle gets a little bit larger. Or if you're happy to stay large. Again, we're looking for as much range here as we can. There should be no pain, there should be no pinching, no numbness. Just a lovely, soft, fluid movement. Working hip and hamstring. And as we press that heel away, we're getting into that lower leg as well. Don't be afraid to draw the hip right wide open. Bring that right leg all the way across the body. We'll do one last big circle. And then we come to stillness. We're going to hug the right knee back into the chest. We can rest the strap off to the side. So keep hugging that right knee in. And while we're here, we're just going to make a few little circles into that right ankle. So we're working into our psoas as we hug the right knee. See if we can draw it outward a little bit toward the right armpit. Continuing to draw those lovely circles into that right ankle. So we're getting kind of double mobilization here. Pressing the shin into the hands as we inhale and seeing if we can work a little bit deeper into the hip as we exhale. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Relax the shoulders. Notice if we're compressing into the chest. Keep pressing the back of that left leg into the ground. So we're feeling that into the front of the pelvis. And relax. We're going to hug the left knee in to meet right. Do a nice little squeeze. And then we're going to straighten that right leg down toward the ground, pressing the back of the hamstring into the mat. Reaching for our strap again, and again, just make sure you have enough space out to your left this time. Wrap it around the ball of the left foot. And then we're going to inhale, press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face. We can tuck those elbows into the waist, and just notice where we're feeling that in the hamstring. We're going to get the left hand to catch hold of the strap, right hand rests onto the right hip. And we'll exhale that left foot fully all the way out to the left. Bend the left elbow, we place it to the ground so we can support that foot in space. We're looking over the right shoulder. As we inhale, press away through the left heel. And as we exhale, allow the hip open a little bit more. Notice if that right side of the body is coming off the ground. I want you to consciously press it right back down. So we're feeling that space all across the front of the body. Relax the breath, relax the shoulders. And again, we're going to stay here if you want to challenge the mobility, see where those muscles are at around the hip. We're going to loosen the grip on the strap and just see how we can support that leg in space without the strap, without the support of the strap. So again, that's really tuning in with those muscles. You might start to feel the leg shake a little bit, and we can re-grip. Holding on to that strap, we're going to inhale the leg back up toward the ceiling. This time we're going to hold either end of the strap. And we're going to start to draw those little circles again. So drawing those shoulder blades together, we can start small. We'll work to the right to begin with. Keep pressing actively away through that left heel. And then each circle gets a little bit larger. And again, we're looking for a nice round, fluid movement. We might loosen the grip a little bit more so those circles can get a little bit larger again. So again, experiment with your own movement here. Don't force it. And again, don't force one side to do just what the other side did. And likewise, if the other side wants to go a little bit fuller, a little bit deeper, allow it go there. Notice the imbalance, but don't hold on to it. And just notice any little pops or clicks or clunks. Again, once they're not accompanied by pain, we're all good. Working into that lovely fluid movement. Circles are getting a lot larger now. Again, try to keep pressing that lower back into the ground so we're nice and supported. And then we're going to reverse those circles opposite direction. Again, you can start small or you can go straight into large, whatever feels better for you. Sometimes it's nice just to slowly move into those circles, testing out where that movement's at. And you'll notice change in direction left to right often there are little imbalances. So again, just tuning into what's going on with the body. Again, those circles getting a little bit larger if they're not large already. And again, exaggerate the size of those circles. Don't be afraid to draw the leg all the way across the body, feeling a nice little release into the glute. So again, just wakening up into that hip space. Again, soften the knee if it's too much on the hamstring. Listen to your body. And eventually, we're going to end the movement, hugging the knee into the chest. We can release the strap off to the side for now. So really hugging that knee into the chest, and then see if we can draw the knee outward toward that left armpit. Left hand is on the shin, right hand is on the hip. We're working into our psoas stretch here, but as we do so, we're still going to make a few nice little circles into that left ankle. And again, we're looking for a nice fluid round movement. Every inhale, we're pressing the shin into the hand, and every exhale, work that hip open a little bit more. Keep grounding the right side of the body to the mat. Relax the shoulders, relax the breath, and maybe reverse those circles if it feels good. And again, just notice how it feels in that lower leg. A kind of double movement going on here. A little bit of proprioception within the body, just feeling where we're at in space. And then eventually come to stillness. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest, squeezing both knees into the chest, and then we rest both feet to the ground. We're going to reach for our block if we have it, and we're going to place it between the knees, setting up for our bridge pose. So this morning, we're going to reach the fingertips to brush the backs of the heels, just so that the heels are in space. But then we're going to bend the elbows and have the fingertips pointing toward the ceiling. On an inhale, we're going to press the feet into the ground, gently peel the lower, middle, upper back off the ground. See if we can work those shoulder blades together so we're taking the pressure off the head and neck. So fingertips are still toward the ceiling. Drawing the belly in, trying to create a nice straight line from the belly center to the chest center. Lifting those hips, feeling those glutes, those hamstrings engage. Feel a nice little stretch into the quads. We're going to inhale, lift, and as we exhale, gently lower the hips toward the ground, hovering just off the mat. Keep squeezing those knees into the block. Inhale really slowly up, pressing those arms into the ground. Exhale really slowly lower. We'll do that 3 more times. Coming up onto the balls of the feet if it feels good, just getting a little bit more into the posterior chain of the body. 2 more. Keep pressing those feet and arms into the ground. No pressure on the head and neck here. Last one. And then slowly release all the way down to the ground. We're going to release the block off to the side. Hugging both knees into the chest. We're going to crisscross with the ankles and just make a few little circles into that lower back. You can do 3 or 4 in each direction. And again, softly, mindfully moving. Reverse those circles if we haven't already. Relax the breath. Relax the shoulders. Relax the chest. Coming to stillness here. Options to make your way anyway to seat, or you can rock and roll with me just the once. We're going to bring ourselves forward into a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. Straight away, we'll bring those hands out in front. Shifting the body weight forward, we're going to step back onto the knees into a nice strong tabletop and center ourselves in the middle of our mat. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward, knees hip width distance apart, hips are stacked over knees, and just notice that the belly's collapsed here. We're going to draw the belly button in and really engage those core muscles. Inhale, draw the chest forward as we take the gaze up and arch the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back to the belly and continue with your own breath. Nice, generous cat-cow curls. Create movement the whole length of the spine here and really exaggerate that movement. Eyes are closed, so we're not too caught up with what it looks like. And just enjoying that movement, that freedom within the body. Active in the arms, really pressing the ground away, feeling that space between the shoulder blades. Relax the breath and just allow yourself go with the flow here, getting rid of any resistance, any rigidity. Eventually, we're going to meet back in our tabletop. Keeping the right hand where it's at, that left knee where it's at, we're going to reach forward through the left fingertips and press back through the right foot. Again, keep drawing the belly in. We might follow the left middle finger with the gaze if you want to challenge the balance. We're going to inhale left knee, right elbow into touch. And then exhale, lengthen it out and lift that back leg. Inhale really slowly in. Exhale, extend it out, and continue with your own breath, making sure that right wrist isn't under any pressure. So again, adjust the hand if you need. Aiming for lift, really engaging with that right glute, a little bit into the hamstring here. Slowly, mindfully. We're going to meet an extension with the arm out front, foot behind us. We're going to inhale here, center, and as we exhale, bring the left arm out to the left, the right foot as far out to the right as we can. We're going to land the right foot to the ground, and we'll bring the left hand back in. Tuck the left toe under, we're going to gently sit back toward that left heel. And like we did again on Tuesday, we're going to gently rock forward and back. Sitting back only as far as feels good, pressing the outer blade of that right foot into the ground. Slowly, slowly. And again, we're not bouncing into the joints here. Nice mindful movements. We're going to pause at the top, and then we're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to point that right foot out to the right. And that knee is in line with the hip. So we're coming into gate pose with the leg. And again, we can stay here, or we can gently bend into that right knee. And then back off to the left. Bend into the right knee. And back off to the left. Continue with your own breath. So we did circles on Tuesday, and if that feels better, feel free to create your circles. So just a slightly different movement. And again, we're not bouncing. Nice mindful movement. Nice little bit of space here into that right hip. And eventually we come back to center. We're going to bring that right knee back into meet left, and we'll repeat on the other side. Toes are tucked just to protect those knees. Left hand stays grounded, right knee stays grounded. We're going to reach forward through the right fingertips. Press back through the left foot, active through the heel, draw the belly in, gaze might follow that right middle finger, otherwise to the ground. Inhale, right elbow, left knee into touch. Exhale, extend it out and lift. Continue with your own breath. Again, if you need a little bit more stability, feel free to keep that right hand on the ground and just work into that left hip. As we reach forward, really exaggerate that reach through the right fingertips. Pressing back through that left heel. Keep the leg nice and active. Relax the breath. Just go with the movement. Last one, we're going to meet an extension with that arm out front, left leg behind. We'll inhale at center. And as we exhale, bring the right arm all the way out to the right, left foot all the way out to the left, rest the left foot to the ground, and bring that right hand back to meet left. Really pressing the outer blade of that left foot into the ground. Right toes tucked under, we're going to gently sit back toward the heel. And then inhale gently forward as far as we can go. And then exhale gently back. Continue with your own breath. Getting a little bit of mobility into the wrists here as well. So don't be afraid to come a little bit further forward until you feel that stretch into the wrists and forearms. And again, we can continue in this movement if this feels better for your body this morning. Otherwise, the next time we come to center, we're going to bend the left knee. We're going to point the left foot out to the left, and that left knee is back in line with the hips. So we're coming into gate pose with the legs. And then from here, we're going to gently bend that left knee all the way to the left, and then shift the hips all the way to the right. And continue. Again, try not to bounce, so it's a nice mindful, smooth movement. Gaze is relaxed, so we're just looking at that space between the hands on the floor. And again, we can create circles if that feels better for your body. Just getting a little bit of extra depth into that left hip without forcing. Eventually, we're going to meet back at the start, and then we bring that left knee back into meet right. Lovely. We're going to walk the hands forward toward the front of the mat. Again, just checking in those knees are hip width distance apart. Widening through the fingers, looking back between the toes. We're going to press hands and feet into the ground, lift the knees off the mat and press those hips as high as we can toward the ceiling. We're going to lower those heels down toward the ground, coming into our downward dog or a little upside down V. As we press the ground, you want to see if we can draw the chest a little bit closer toward the mat. And gently paddle out the feet, allowing opposite heel melt softly toward the ground. Nice and easy here. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath. Keeping those hips lifted. We're going to meet in stillness here in our downward dog. As we inhale, we're going to move the body forward into plank until those shoulders are stacked over the wrists. We're going to bring those hips so that they're in line. Nice straight line, neck to knees or neck to heels. So again, if it's too much on the arms, we can drop to the knees. But again, just notice that the bum's still up in the air. I want you to really create that lovely straight line. Exhale back into our downward dog. A little bit of movement here. Inhale all the way forward into plank. Engage the core. Exhale, press it back to downward dog. Continue with your own breath. And again, remember this movement can be done with the knees on the ground if it feels better for you. Active in the arms, strong in the shoulders. Trying to release those heels down a little bit further each time we come back into our downward dog. We're going to meet in our downward dog when you're ready. Looking forward between the hands, and we'll gently walk our way to the front of the mat. Coming through a nice wide-legged forward fold. Bring those feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Soften through the knees. We're going to look at the palms of the hands. So fingertips are facing the body. And then we're going to walk the balls of the feet onto the palms of the hands. So that's what I mean. Take a nice deep bend in those knees until you can get that. And we almost want those toes to be massaging the back of the wrists here. And we can sit back as far as feels good. Relax the head, relax the neck. And then see if we can keep those hands there. We're just going to try to straighten those legs a little bit more. Tuck the chin in, feel that release into the posterior chin. And we can rock gently forward and back, challenging the balance. And then we'll walk the hands back out in front. Tuck the chin in. We're going to slowly roll our way all the way up to stand. Head comes up last, nice and easy. Take a little drink here if you need. We're going to do a few little mobilizations before we get into our flow this morning. So when you're ready, we're just going to meet at the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Arms are by the sides. Hands are loose, arms are loose. We're going to find a point out in front to fix our gaze to start with. And then we're going to gently swing the body. Sway the body. Leading with the head. Allow those arms go totally loose. Feet stay in place. Hips stay in place. Legs are straight to start with. And then we might start to bring a little bend into the knee, coming onto the balls of the feet. So just introducing a little bit of extra movement into the body. Slow it right down. And again, we're looking for range. Relax the breath. Maybe bring those arms up in line with the chest, see how that feels. And then down by the waist. So again, just really warming up into the torso here, into those hips, into those ankles, into those shoulders. And eventually we come back to center. We're going to walk the feet together. So knees are together, feet are together. We're going to sit back into a little half chair and we're going to place the hands just above the knees, keeping the spine nice and long here. So try not to allow the bum pop out too much. And from here, we're going to start to make a few little circles. So keeping the knees together, the feet together. Either direction, we're going to end up doing both. And this movement, we're leading with the hips. So really pressing the hips out to the sides as we draw those circles. So we're getting into ankles, we're getting into the lower legs, we're getting into knees, upper legs, hips. Relax the breath. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. And again, just notice how that feels. You might even be feeling it into the lower back at this stage. And again, try to keep those knees together throughout the whole movement. And then coming back to center, and then we can release back up to stand. The next little movement, you can either use the wall or you can challenge the balance without the wall. So we're going to start with feet hip width distance apart. We bring the hands to the hips, relax the shoulders back, pressing all that weight into the left foot. We're going to draw that right knee out in front. We're going to open the hip out to the right. So again, if you need to touch off the wall here, because the real thing we want to work on this morning is the mobility. So if you want to challenge the balance, we can do it away from the wall. From here, we're going to start to draw a few nice hip circles into that right hip. I want you to imagine that there's a box out to your right. So you're trying to get that foot, that knee, that hip up and around the box. So again, if you find you're falling out of the balance, just bring that hand to the wall so we can really focus in on those right hip circles. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Get nice and wide into that hip space. Relax the breath. Finding a point out in front to fix your gaze. A drishti point in yoga will just really help with that balance, that focus. And just exploring that range. Quite strong in that standing leg here. We'll take one more big circle. And then we can release the right foot to the ground. Well done. We'll do the same on the other side. So again, if you need the wall, place yourself near the wall. We're going to really ground that right foot into the mat this time, spreading through the toes. We'll inhale the left knee out in front. Again, bringing that left knee out to the side. So we're opening into the hip to start with. And then we can start to draw those nice big circles forward. Again, seeing if we can lift that left foot a little bit higher as we work through our circles. Imagining that high box, that tall box out to our left. And we're trying to bring the foot up and around. And again, if you need to touch down in between, listen to the body and just come right back in. Finding that point out in front to fix our gaze. And don't be afraid to use the wall. So again, focus this morning is on mobility. The balance is just an extra bonus. We're going to reverse those hip circles. Noticing how that feels. We have to play around a little bit with our center of gravity here within the movement. Relax the breath. Relax the shoulders. One last full circle. And then we bring that left foot down to meet right. Well done. We'll shake it out here. When you're ready, meeting at the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands come to heart. Press the palms together, draw the belly in. We're going to relax the shoulders back and really lengthen through the crown of the head. Find that point out in front to soften your gaze. We'll inhale the arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hand stays grounded. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. Gaze follows up. Exhale, left hand back to the ground. Stepping left foot back to meet right. We're going to meet here in a nice strong plank. Shoulders over, elbows over wrists. Elbow creases face forward. Pressing back through those heels. If it's too strong in the shoulders, feel free to drop to the knees, but just keep that lovely straight line. And we're just going to hold it here for the first round. Pressing the ground away, active between those shoulders for 3. For 2. And 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows tucked in. We'll roll the heart forward. Untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the ground away, lift the hips. Downward dog, stillness or walk it out, your choice. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the body. From stillness in our downward dog, we're going to inhale the right leg up, bend the right knee, we're going to open the hip to the right side of the room. So we're pressing the ball or the sole of the right foot as far as we can to the left, lift the right knee as high as we can, and drop that left heel. We're going to hold it for 3, for 2, and 1. Back into our 3-legged dog. We're going to look forward between the hands, bend the right knee into the chest, shifting the body weight forward. We're going to place that right foot between the hands. Softening the left knee to the ground. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlock fingers, place them just above the right knee. Try to keep that right knee stacked over the ankle. We're going to inhale, press the hands into the leg, head and tall through the spine. And as we exhale, allow those hips sink. Inhale, lengthen tall. Exhale, release. Continue with your own breath. Again, if you need to cushion that left knee, or if you need to shift that left knee back a little bit further, play around within the pose. Make it as accessible and as comfortable to your body. Gazes forward. Last one. Staying in our low lunge, left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. We're going to inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, twist to the right. We're going to bring the right hand behind us, looking back toward the thumb. We'll hold it for 3. Pressing that right shoulder back for 2. And 1, gently twist to the front. We're going to frame the right foot with both hands coming off the left knee, and we'll shift the body forward to bring that left foot up to meet right, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, left hand stays grounded. We'll inhale the right arm up and open the heart. Gaze follows up. Exhale, right hand back to the mat. Stepping right foot back to meet left into a nice strong plank. Again, shoulders over, elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward, actively pressing into the ground. Nice straight line, neck to heels or neck to knees. Drawing the belly in. So think about pressing the ground away as opposed to supporting our body with those arms, holding it, but not the breath. For 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows tucked in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press the ground away, lift the hips. Downward dog. Stillness or walk it out, your choice completely. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath. Keep lifting those hips nice and high. And just getting a nice little bit of movement into those limbs. From stillness in our downward dog, we're going to inhale the left leg up, bend the left knee. We'll open those hips to the left side of the room. Pressing the sole of that left foot as far out to the right. We should be able to look underneath the right armpit and see that left foot hanging out. Drop the right heel, lift the left knee for 3, for 2, and 1. Straighten the left leg, look forward between the hands. We'll draw that left knee into the chest and slowly shift the body weight forward to place that left foot between the hands. And as many moves as you need. We're going to relax that right knee to the ground. You can shift it back if you need a wee bit more space. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlock fingers just above the left knee. We'll keep that left knee stacked over the ankle. Inhale, lengthen tall. Relax the shoulders. Exhale, sink the hips. Continue with your own breath. Micro movements, and again, that movement is at the hips. That knee stays stacked over the ankle. We're not moving forward and back. We're more moving up and down into that hip space. Keep drawing the belly button in so we're not compressing into that lower back. We'll take 1 more. Meeting in our low lunge. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. We'll inhale the left arm up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the left, bringing the left arm behind us. We can press that right hand into the leg, draw that left shoulder back a little bit more, looking back toward the thumb for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, turning back to the front of the room. We're going to frame the left foot with both hands, coming off the right knee. We'll shift the body weight forward to step the right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a little drink if you need. We're going to move into a second round. Just coming back to your breath. We meet at the front, feet nicely grounded about hip width distance apart. Hands to heart. Relax the shoulders, lengthening tall through the spine. Finding our drishti point, our point of focus. We'll inhale the arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hand stays grounded. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart, gaze follows up. Exhale, left hand back to the ground. Gently step that left foot back into our plank. Knees on or off the ground. We're going to inhale here in plank. And as we exhale, we're going to bend the right knee out to the right and see if we can step that right foot up as far in line with the hand as we can without swinging. Inhale, feet together, plank. Exhale, bend the left knee out to the left and step that foot as high up in line with the hand. Inhale, back into plank. Exhale, step it up to the right. Still in our plank. So notice those hips aren't popping up. Continue with your own breath. Nice and strong. Again, this can be done with the opposite knee on the ground. Listen to your body. Last one, both sides. Really mobilizing into those hips. Strong in the shoulders. Last one. Back into plank. We'll inhale here. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Open, roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press the ground away, lift the hips. Downward dog. Stillness or walk it out, your choice. Child's pose anytime you need. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath, and just bring a little bit of movement back into the body. Notice the breath. Notice if we're holding it. Try to draw it a little bit deeper down into the belly. We're going to come to stillness here. And then inhale the right leg up toward the ceiling. We're going to bend the right knee, open those hips to the right side of the room. We can stay here like we did in the previous round. If you want to bring it a little bit further, we're going to look at that right foot and we're going to draw it all the way down to the ground. So we're swiveling on the ball of the left foot. Both feet are on the ground. We're coming into a little back bend here. Feet are pointing to the back of the room. We're going to lift those hips and reach back through that right arm. Again, option only. Holding it here wherever we are for 3, for 2, and 1. Looking back to where we want that hand to be. Coming onto the ball of the left foot, we'll swivel. Bring that right hand back to meet left. And then we lift that right leg back into our 3-legged dog. Looking forward between the hands. We're going to bend the right knee into the chest. Shift the body weight forward so we can place that right foot between the hands. Options here to keep the left knee on or off the ground, your choice. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to interlock fingers just above the right knee. Soften the shoulders. If we're off the left knee, actively pressing back through the heel. Right knee stays stacked over the heel. We'll inhale, lengthen tall. And then exhale, sink the hips. 3 more. Relax the breath. Relax the shoulders. Keep drawing the belly in, strong in that back leg, whether it's on or off the mat. Last one. Again, option to keep that knee on or off the ground. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. We'll inhale the right arm up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the right. Reaching that right arm behind us, pressing the shoulder back. Pressing that left hand into the leg, working into our twist for 3, For 2. And 1, turning back to the front of the room. We'll frame the right foot with both hands coming off the knee if we're on it. Shift the body weight forward. We'll step the left foot up to meet right. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, left hand stays grounded. We'll inhale the right arm up and open the heart nice and wide. Exhale, right hand back to the ground. Stepping right foot back to meet left. Back into our nice strong plank. Knees on or off the mat. This time we're going to keep the legs straight. So we'll inhale center. As we exhale, point through the right toes. We'll step that right foot all the way out to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, step it out to the left. Straight leg this time. Inhale center. Exhale all the way up to the right. Back to center. Exhale to the left. Continue. 1 more, both sides. Again, this can be done with the opposite knee on the ground. Try to keep those hips low. Challenging the strength. Back into plank. When you're ready, we'll inhale here. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Elbows in. Roll the heart forward and tuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press the ground away. Downward dog. Stillness or walk it out. Or child's pose if you wish. Don't be afraid to take a breather in your child's pose, even just to give the shoulders and wrists a little break. Relax the breath. Softening the head, softening the neck. We meet in stillness here in our downward dog. We're going to inhale the left leg up. Bend the left knee, we'll open the hips to the left side of the room. Keep lifting that left knee, dropping the right heel down. If we want to go a little bit further, we're going to swivel on the ball of that right foot, and we're going to bring that left foot all the way back behind us to the ground. Coming into a little back bend here, both feet face the back of the room. Pressing that right arm strongly into ground, we're going to lift the hips, and then reach that left arm back overhead. Holding it here. Feeling that space for 3. For 2 and 1, looking back to where we want that hand to be. Coming onto the ball of the right foot, we'll bring the left hand back to meet right, and then back into our 3-legged dog. Looking forward between the hands, we're going to bend the left knee into the chest, gently step the foot between the hands in as many steps as you need. And again, option to come on or off that right knee. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll interlock the fingers just above the knee. Nice and strong in that back leg. So if the knee's off the ground, it shouldn't be shaken. Nice and strong, pressing back through the heel. Inhale, lengthen tall. Exhale, sink the hips. 3 more. Focusing our gaze out front. Relax the shoulders. Keep drawing the belly in, engaging with those core muscles. Last one. Again, right knee on or off the ground. We're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the leg. Inhale the left arm up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the left as we bring the left arm behind us. Pressing that left shoulder back. We're pressing the right hand into the leg. Looking back toward the thumb. Again, strong in that right leg. For 3. For 2. And 1. Gently turning to the front. We're going to frame the left foot with both hands. Coming off the knee if we're not there already. And then gently shift the body weight forward to step the right foot up to meet left. And then exhale, forward. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a little drink if you need. We've got one last restful pose to finish out the class this morning. And we're going to come into our frog pose, or option to come into a wide-legged child's pose. So I'm just going to bring my mat sideways so you can see what I'm at. If you have a little cushion or a towel, it might be nice for this one. So you're going to place yourself similar to myself on the mat. And we're going to set it almost like we're going into a wide-legged child's pose. Feet are together, knees are wide apart, and we're sitting back onto the heels. You might find, particularly if you're on a very hard surface floor, you might find you need to roll the mat up into a little spaghetti string, or you might place little towels or cushioning underneath the knees, or you could be fine, but just to have them at hand. If you do have a little towel or cushion, it might be nice to place it out in front because our face is going to be there at the moment. So again, this might be as far as we go this morning. Otherwise, we're going to walk hands forward just until the hips are in line with the knees. So we're not sitting back, but we're not going too far forward that we're compressing into the lower back. Hands are on the ground. We might bring those knees a little bit wider, drawing the belly in, and then we can come down onto the forearms. So keeping the hips high here. And again, this might be as far as we go, feeling that into the inner thighs. If we want to go a little bit further, we can walk the hands forward, sinking the chest toward the ground and resting the forehead to the ground. Or sometimes, because we're going to be here for a couple of moments, it's nice to make a little pillow by piling one hand or one fist on top of the other and resting the forehead here, or maybe onto a block. And just while we're here, we're going to shift the hips forward and back until we find that sweet spot. So again, nice and gentle, easing into that space. And when we found that sweet spot, we're going to pause. And if we feel we'd like to go a little bit deeper into our full frog, we can bring those lower legs out at 90-degree angles. So like little frog legs, we have 90-degree angles at the knees and at the ankles. And just make sure those feet are on the ground. They're not floating off. If they are, just shift the body weight back a little, or bring the heels a little bit closer toward each other. So this is our option. If this is too much for the body this morning, feel free to come into your wide-legged child's pose. So similar position, but we're sitting all the way back to the heels. And we're going to stay here for just about a minute. So I want you to find a space that you feel quite comfortable releasing into. You're not holding the pose, more so releasing into it. Every inhale creating space within the body, and every exhale melting and releasing into that space, and just bringing the focus into your breath here. Not going too deep. So again, there shouldn't be any pinching, no pain, no numbness, just a really lovely sense of release. And then if the body, the breath and gravity want to bring us a little bit further, you'll be sure to let us know. So again, just allow yourself soften here. Keep checking in with those hips. And even throughout the movement, if you find that you've lost the release, don't be afraid to shift the hips a little bit forward and back until you find that sweet spot again. And likewise, in the pose, you can go deeper. And likewise, if you need to back off, listen to the body. Softening the breath, softening the belly, the chest toward the ground. Just melting into the pose as much as we can. Well over halfway, so just a few more breaths here. And don't be afraid to let yourself go a little bit deeper if it feels good. So this is definitely more flexibility than mobility, but because we've mobilized so much into those joints and muscles, this is a lot safer of a pose to then go into, releasing any tension that we're holding on to, and just enjoying that release, softening, releasing, letting go. Last full breath. First things first, wherever we're at, we're going to tuck the chin in and come up onto the forearms if we're not there already. Anybody who's gone into their full frog, I'm going to invite you to just bend the knees and bring those feet a little bit closer toward each other. So we're kind of backing out of the pose. All the weight is into the forearms now, so we're shifting the body weight slightly forward. And then we can press our way onto our hands. And again, the weight is still into the hands here. And while we're here, maybe shift those knees a little bit closer toward each other until at least the big toes can touch. And then when they're touching, then we can gently walk the hands back toward the body to sit back up onto the heels. And again, just being conscious if we have gone quite deep. Take your time, bringing those knees a little bit closer back toward each other. And then just allowing those hips reset. You can even rock a little bit side to side if it feels good. So just easing the soft tissue here. Lovely. And I'm going to invite you to come back into easy cross-legged like we started the class this morning. Or if it feels better to sit back on the heels, you can stay there. So again, coming to any comfortable seat for you. Resting the palms down on the knees. We're going to relax the shoulders back, grow the spine nice and tall, and just feel that extra little bit of space in the joints in the body. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling. And then we'll inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh it out, and let it go. We'll do that twice more. Gently bringing the hands to heart, press the palms together. Close down the eyes and just thank yourself for creating a wee bit of space in your morning to come to the mat, to look after yourself, to create some lovely energy, some lovely space, some lovely flow, and hopefully take that with you into the day and into the weekend ahead. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.